I grew up in northern Kentucky, blue-collar family. My parents set a great pattern of working. They were very self-sufficient and uneducated, but that didn't stop them. You can learn, and you don't maybe necessarily have to have a formal education. I certainly did not. But how badly do you want to learn? Enough to go figure it out? Yeah, that's me.
Donna is fun. She is personable. But what I truly admire about her is that she always cares about you.
When she meets somebody, she doesn't think, what can you do for me? She thinks, what can I do for you? That's her in a nutshell.
My grandmother taught me how to sew. I loved it. It was so exciting. I thought, wow, that's fun that you can take nothing and turn it into something. So I started making my own clothes. It's remarkable when I think back. The Cincinnati Enquirer had a weekly sewing column, and I would cringe every time I read it, that how can someone talk about something so exciting and make it sound dull? So I wrote a letter to the editor of the Enquirer and said, even I could write a better sewing column. The editor wrote back and said, send us 6 samples. We agree it's awful. And I did. Lo and behold, I have my own column. It opened a big door. You take that further. I had my own TV show.
I hope you've enjoyed the super time-saving sewing tips that you've just seen, and I hope they will help you to sew better and faster.
That was quite pivotal because I had never been to New York, and I had to go to New York to do my TV show, and this is quite daunting. So go to New York, everyone, except me, is wearing a full-length mink coat. We do not have the money, but I can sew one, I bet, and I did. And I wore it to New York, and people stopped me on the street to say, that is a fabulous coat. So fast forward, I'm driving on I-75. Paul Harvey comes into my car on the radio and is describing kittens being skinned alive and passed off as mink teddy bears by a toy manufacturer in London. We had 2 cats, and I thought, I can't do that. For heaven's sake, I'll start a faux fur sewing kit business. Almost 34 years later, fabulous furs are sold in 46 countries. We don't sell sewing kits anymore. No one sews. So along the way, we had to evolve into ready-to-wear. I don't know how all this happened, but I'm very grateful that it did.
I love seeing how successful she and her family have become. And one of the big reasons is because Donna is a great example of how a nice and kind person can also be very successful at business.
My husband was in commercial real estate. There could not have been a Fabulous Furs without a Jim Salyers. What do you do with all your inventory? Jim, I need space. No matter what harebrained idea I would come up with, he would say something like, try it. I just want you to be happy.
I think the thing they love about Covington and Cincinnati is they both grew up here. They saw great potential in Covington with just so many vacant buildings. Bringing Covington back to its vibrant history when there was 100% occupied and the sidewalks were filled. I think that's always been kind of a dream of my mom's since she used to actually shop there when she was a kid.
Donna and Jim's investment in Covington was critical to Covington's revitalization. They were willing to take a risk and start the fabulous fur business, Hotel Covington, as well as the Madison Event Center. Having the Madison Event Center as an anchor really created the activity that then made Hotel Covington feasible, because at the time, Hotel Covington was in a location that one would consider still pioneering, but that internal demand made it initially feasible. But then, of course, the way the Salyers developed the hotel, which was very extraordinary, very thoughtful, That even made it more successful, and it has become a true catalyst for many other businesses that opened around it. Donna has been involved in many philanthropic efforts, especially ones that help women in our community, such as making strides against breast cancer, as well as Dress for Success. And that has brought a lot of resources to females in Greater Cincinnati.
I was invited to chair Making Strides Against Breast Cancer. We did very, very well. How well? I think we were like number 3 or 4 of all the cities in this country. That's remarkable. It just takes a big-hearted community.
It's amazing, and it's very humbling how much she accomplished in just a short time with the American Cancer Society.
Her Fabulous Furs brand is a national trademark, but it has reached far beyond business because it truly has made our community a much better place.
Mom, congratulations. I'm so proud. It's a huge honor just to be your son.
I always felt I don't want to be those people who are dishonest. I'll just be a good person and a good merchant and offer the best product. I love excitement and risk. I'm very excited about the future.